We have got to take a look at the markets and Nvidia along with some other big tech in this video. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. And do you know why ducks don't make good lawyers? Because you can always find a quack in their arguments. I have some technicals to share with you on a bunch of the charts: SPY, QQQ, Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, and I also want to toss Intel in there. I think each one of them are very interesting. If you guys want to see I'm playing this market later, I'll tell you about where you can find my buys and sells, about the options course I'm building, and about where you can learn to do technical analysis like I do. In the meantime, I'm going to get right into the charts on this. So we're going to pop up TradingView, and here we're looking at SPY, and you can see we're still in this ascending wedge pattern that we have right now. We hit the top of the trend line on Friday and sold off a little bit. Pre-market about even with where we closed last time. We're going to have to see, should we break up above this? That could be bullish for a little while longer. Mind you, we still have a ways that we can go in here. Breaking down below the lower trend line is a bearish thing. We're going to keep our eyeballs out on that. When we switch over to QQQ, you can see much the same thing. We actually did fall out of the bottom of it leading up to those Nvidia earnings. Nvidia absolutely pumped the Qs. We had an incredible day, almost 3% up from the previous day when we look at that, and then the next day a little bit more bullishness, and then we sold off going into the weekend. Well, let's take a look at Nvidia and see what's going on, and we actually have a broadening wedge pattern on this, and we want to pay attention to this upper trend line because breaking up above that could be bullish. Breaking down, we could, if we get rejected at that, I should say, and this is the 800 level right here that's in yellow. If we get rejected off of that, we could head back down to this bottom trend line that we have, giving a significant give back, and then we're looking for support from there. If we fall down through support, that could be a bearish thing, not only for Nvidia, but for the markets themselves, because this is the golden child right now for big tech, for the AI space. So a sell-off in Nvidia would be a sell-off in the markets. For the rally for Nvidia, in my opinion, especially where the Qs are involved, QQQ would be a pump for the markets. So keep an eye on Nvidia. Keep watching this chart that I have on here. 850, by the way. Should we break 800 and we stay above 800, get 2 full candle closes above it? We have a little bit of distance to go to get up to that 850 mark, and then I think that we find rejection there again to the upside, to the downside on this thing. 750-ish could be about where we see that over the next several days. So we have to watch and see which way we go on this. 800 is that line in the sand. Moving over to Apple. Apple, we still have this descending triangle pattern, and we're down below the 200-day. That's where we closed on Friday. Peekaboo up above it Thursday, Friday, closed down below it Friday. And so getting rejected there again, we could go down to this lower trend line right around 180, which has been significant support for us before. Breaking down below that could give us room down to as low as 165. So be on the lookout for that with some support along the way. 175 is going to be huge as well. So keep on watching Apple for that. When we look at Microsoft, hello, baby girl. That's my youngest daughter in the background there. 8 months old, and couldn't be more proud. And then I have some teenage daughters that I'm also super proud of as well. Couldn't be more proud of them either. They just don't make as much noise while I'm recording my videos. So head and shoulders pattern forming up possibly here on Microsoft. We have to look and see if we come down to this trend line or to the support line that we have here. That'd be the neckline. Should we break down below that? We actually have the 50-day right here acting as possible support to catch that, cause another bounce. But if we break down through that, we could see a further drop coming off of Microsoft. That's at about the 397 level. We also have that 400 round number bias for that support in there, so be watching for that. So for Tesla, we got to watch which way we go on this. We have another kind of head and shoulders looking pattern forming up here. Ooh, pink this time. And then the neckline would be this lower trend line that we have. Breaking down below that could be a bearish thing. And then right now, right at about $190 per share. And then below that, we have room down to 185, down to 180. We just need to be watching for those. Should we break through the upper trend line, then we have room that we could retest 200, possibly take us up all the way to 206, 207, finally have some regular trading hours where we finally start to hit those values, whereas we only hit them in the off market or the extended trading hours before opening lower a couple weeks ago, a couple days ago, whenever that was. It looks like it was on middle of February, and now we're getting to the end of February. Somebody watching for that. Intel's one that has sold down significantly, kind of has a bit of a head and shoulders look to it. We're going to have to watch and see what happens. Got rejected off of its 200 week as we're looking at this. And for this one, we're watching for $40, and we want to actually 42, and 40 I think is still going to have some of that round number support that we have there. We'll see how far we could possibly break down for Intel. I think that there could possibly be coming down to testing the 200 all the way down at $38 per share. I think that should we fall down that far, because we did get rejected at the 50 EMA, which is in red right here, breaking all the way down to 38 could cause a significant bounce. And it is possible that we find support here, that instead we double bottom. And if we do that, then we can try out, see if we can back up to that $50 mark. So we're going to have to be watching for that for Intel. If you want to learn to do technical analysis like I do, available through Stockmo Academy, you can go ahead and sign up using the link down in the description. I've been through this course myself. It is very well put together, very clean, very easy to follow. I also have a chapter on options in there as well, so go ahead and check that out. That link is down in the description. If you want to see my buys and sells, I have a link for my Patreon down in the description. You can click on that too. Sign up for the Discord, see my buys and sells that I post over there, and also get access to my options course that I'm building out right now over at the Patreon itself. Like I said, those links are down in the description. So let me summarize this thing for you, give me my final thoughts. SPY, QQQ, as we're looking at the markets, looking at the indices, we want to watch and see what happens with them if we keep on retesting resistance and end up breaking through and then putting in new highs from there, or if we break down through the bottom trend line, which could be a bearish thing for us, then we're looking for where we find support. The 50 SMA and EMA values on the daily charts are going to be critical for us as we look at those. And then Nvidia, I think it could be that signal that we have for which direction that we're going to go for how much longer, especially where the Qs are involved. And then there's a lot of tech that's showing a lot of signs where for some profit taking, possibly rotating around some of that money, maybe flowing towards Russell 2000 type stocks, looking for that next area of value in the markets as we've started to get a little bit more expensive for those big tech names that are out there. Keep watching for Tesla for what exactly could happen there. And Intel, I think we could have a further drop before we start to rally again on that. And we want to look for that as a possible infrastructure play where semiconductors are in demand. So, well, I'm going to leave you with that, guys. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you in the next video.